Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joe. So today we're going to be making buffalo chicken dip for the Super Bowl and discussing how you can make the best out of a long weekend in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Stick around. Here are the ingredients for the buffalo chicken dip. What did you make for the Super Bowl? Comment below. Also, if you can hit that like and subscribe button, that would be awesome. So this is a super easy dish. It's the Super Bowl, so I wanted something fun and easy since we're staying at home. So you need shredded chicken. So for me to do that, I'm going to be using my chicken, and I'm gonna boil it with some Orrington Farms soup broth. And I'm gonna boil that for about 20 minutes and see how that goes, starting in a cold pot. So I put the chicken in cold water and I put the soup broth in there and I'm letting it go to a boil, and then it'll take about 20 minutes total for it to cook, and then we'll shred it. So I wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks about how to spend a weekend in San Juan. I always know people say whenever you're traveling, it's always better to spend a lot of time. How can you just go for a long weekend? But people have time, restrictions and also money restrictions. So I kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts and how to make the best of your long weekend and have an amazing time. So we stayed in Condado. Condado, I would say, is kind of like the Hoboken of San Juan. It was very cute. There were a lot of easy walkable shops and a lot of restaurants. And so it was a great location for us to stay in, so that way we were still somewhat in the city but a little bit away. We stayed at the AC Hotel in Condado. I knew from people who had been to Condado that the beach was a little bit rough and you can't really swim in it. So I wanted it to be close enough that we can do a nice stroll, but that we didn't really need it for the swimming portion. The price of the AC Hotel was also about half of the price of what it would be at La Concha or any of those other resorts that are straight up on the beach. I know at different times of the year, the pricing of those really nice hotels can be worth it, but when we were there, it was about $650 compared to our $300 a night. It was definitely money well saved. So the rooms that we had were adjoining. 2 rooms for 6 girls, so 3 to a room. And each of the rooms had balconies. A couple of things that were strange was that there was actually no official closet. It was basically just a hanging rack where you can put your stuff on. So there wasn't anything to put things away to make it feel like it was a little neater. The other thing was that the sink was actually in the middle of the room. It was separate from the actual bathroom, so separate from the toilet and separate from the shower. So the only issue that I could see that happened there was when someone wanted to brush their teeth at night and someone was sleeping, but it was fine because we were there for a bachelorette party, so it didn't really matter. The other thing that was interesting, which I would like to give you this cautionary warning, is that the bathroom with the toilet and the shower only has a sliding door. So just make sure you're comfortable with the people that you're traveling with, because you may hear more than you want. So my credit card actually gave each room a credit. So we were able to use that for drinks or snacks, which also then added to the value and why it was a great choice for us. We had a really nice rooftop, great pool, and it was really pretty views. You could actually see the ocean from the rooftop. So for dinner the first night, we went to Serafina's. We had a dinner reservation, an Italian restaurant. Food was decent, vibe was cute, and it was nice, and we were able to walk. The place where we went to the club was actually in the same resort as Serafina's, and I actually really enjoyed, they had a really cool lounge in their lobby, and I probably would have enjoyed staying there a little bit more because they played great music and the vibe was really cool. So, but there is a club in Condado. So while the chicken is cooking, I'm gonna cut up the celery because we're gonna use it to dip our buffalo chicken dip in. So the day after, we went to Icacos Island. For our excursion to Icacos Island, we used Spread Eagle 2, and they actually had an option of picking us up from our hotel for $25 a person for a round trip. So that made it so much easier because I didn't want to deal with having to find Ubers. They picked us up kind of early. We had to be at the meeting point for 7:15 for our 9 a.m. excursion. The ride was super bumpy, and when I mean super bumpy, take your motion sickness pills the second you wake up, so that way you're prepared for on the bus. So you can't exactly sleep either. Another tip I have is I looked on Viator to look at the different excursions to Icacos Island and snorkeling, and what I found was, and I'm actually doing this for my Norway trip as well, is I looked and saw who the actual provider is, and then I went onto their website, and it was about $20 cheaper a person. Take seasickness medicine before you get on the boat. It's a bumpy ride. There's also drinks available, so Diet Coke, water, pina coladas, and rum punch, and also sandwiches for lunch. There was a bathroom on board, but it's a boat bathroom, so it's not glamorous. And then here was the weird thing. So when we docked at Icacos Island, they were like, oh, the water's only 5 feet. It should be fine. But we were kind of far out, and I was like, I don't know if that's 5 feet. But I took a assistance flotation device, which I'm so glad I did, because when I jumped in the water, it was definitely not 5 feet. I had a water-sealed bag where I put my phone in. But one of my cousins did bring one of her bachelorette bags that I had. I'll link what I have in those bags below. And so she brought her towel and a few other items, including someone brought their phone, and it totally got destroyed. So please do not bring anything unless it's in a water sealed bag. And the towel was completely soaked, everything was soaked, and it was not 5 feet. The beach was super warm, beautiful. It was overcast. When we first got there, it rained a little bit. Also, I'm the type of person who's like, okay, if it's gonna rain, who cares? Because we're gonna be getting wet anyways, so that was fine. So after the island, we had our lunch served, and then we went over to the snorkeling area. Now, I am not a strong swimmer, clearly. I use flotation devices. But my friend is a super strong swimmer, so they actually let her jump off the side of the boat. So anybody who was really strong and that they trusted, they could jump off the side of the boat. So I walked down the stairs, and it was insanity. I felt like I was gonna get sucked underneath the boat. It's a catamaran, so it wasn't like anything crazy, but the water was so choppy, I couldn't make it out. I couldn't swim beyond the currents to get away from the boat. So just keep that in mind, that if you're not a super strong swimmer and you go on one of these excursions, you might not be able to go snorkeling, but it was still so pretty, but I couldn't go snorkeling. So after we got back to the main area, and our driver drove us back to Condado, which was great. So we had a few hours. I took a nap because I always need a little siesta when I'm traveling. I don't have the energy. I don't know what's going on with me. I guess I'm not 22 anymore. So we all got ready and we went out to Old San Juan for the first time. It was so pretty. We went to this restaurant called Santissimo, and it was not the best. Again, we did reservations. The restaurant was beautiful that we went to. There was actually a wedding going on downstairs in one of the halls, and it was so cute. We were very excited, looking forward to it, amazing reviews. It took us 45 minutes to get tap water, so that was a little odd, and so then our drinks came probably after about an hour, and they were very, very, very overly sweet, but we drank them, whatever, it's drinks. The food, on the other hand, it looked so good. I got the octopus, and it was super, super fishy. The lamb and the chicken, there was just not that much flavor to them. It looked so good. It just didn't hit. The rice and beans was actually really good. That's what I ate of my meal. So not the best. If you like clubbing, San Juan is an amazing place for you. But I'm not much of a dancer. I'm more of like a loungy type person. So in the areas that we were going out in, we're definitely mainly more, I would say, a little bit younger, but also way more dance vibe, loud, club. You can't hear the person you're next to. So if that's your vibe, totally great. This was a cafe right outside of our hotel called Savoring. The food was wonderful. We got mincemeat empanadas and some pastries. The beach in Condado went from shallow to over your knees in just seconds, so be careful out there. So for lunch, we really just wanted a classic Puerto Rican meal. So we tried this place called Ropa Vieja Grill in Condado, and it was so good. It was the first real taste of Puerto Rican food that we had, and highly recommend. We did not have reservations, and that is something that I will say, when I was initially planning, I talked to some of the people I work with who were from Puerto Rico, and they told me that the best places are really the places that you just walk up to. But with a group of 6, it was a little tough. So that is my advice to you, and a little tip is that maybe don't make reservations, because you might get better places that don't require them. So after lunch, we ended up going to the castle that's in Old San Juan. I'm gonna butcher the name, but I'm gonna try my best. Castillo San Felipe del Morro. That's my best try. It was so awesome and fun, and that was actually something that I really, really, really wanted to do. So we went through the castle, we took pictures, we got to see the gorgeous views. A little tip would be that you don't even need to really go to the castle. It's only $10 and you actually get to go to the fort as well with that. But you can actually walk along the perimeter of the castle and the walls of the big, massive structure over to the doors of Old San Juan. So when I go for my cruise with Nate, we're gonna do the castle walls and still get the gorgeous views. So the walk takes about 25 minutes, so not horrible, and the views are crazy good. And when we got to San Juan, we ended up getting like coffee, and the coffee there is so good. So I highly recommend either getting an iced coffee or some sort of latte. So yum. Another tip, there's not many bathrooms. They don't have them at the coffee shops. So I actually asked the one girl, like, I really gotta go pee. What am I supposed to do? So she told me to go to the Marshalls in Old San Juan, and there's a bathroom. So I went there and I looked around a little bit. It was kind of cool. So after a little bathroom break and hanging out in a little piazza, we went to a rum distillery called Scryer, and it was so good. That was actually my favorite place that we went to, and they had a really cool rooftop, and the drinks were so good. So I highly recommend going there if you're looking for kind of like a low-key kind of place. Where the doors of Old San Juan are is like right where the cruise ships are. So when I go back in April, we're gonna be at that same area. So I'm definitely taking Nate to that rum distillery and then gonna be looking around just the other cool places. We went to this place called Racy's, which is supposed to be like one of the top places to eat. And you know, I'm gonna be honest, it was not as good as I thought it was gonna be. The other thing that I also heard from a couple of my coworkers who were from Puerto Rico was that San Juan doesn't necessarily have the best Puerto Rican food, that a lot of it's kind of touristy, so you have to go to the suburbs. And when you're there for a weekend, you might not have time to do that. So as long as you go in with expectations that, hey, it might not be perfection, you'll still enjoy the food and it'll still be good. The wait at Racy's was an hour and a half. So this was actually the other reason why I wanted to have some reservations for the places that we went to those other nights. All right, let's finish up this dip. So we're gonna do half a cup of the Frank's Red Hot and then half a cup of any buttermilk ranch. I just used Walmart brand. I'm gonna add some Colby Jack cheese, like half a cup, and then we're gonna top it with additional cheese. For Nate's half of the buffalo chicken dip, I'm gonna add blue cheese crumbles. I'm not a huge blue cheese person, but he absolutely loves it, so I'm gonna make both of us happy today. And then last, we're gonna mix in some softened cream cheese. Everything but the blue cheese is in the bowl. We're gonna mix it up. Okay, so here is our mixed up buffalo mixture. So we're gonna just spray. We're gonna take half of our mixture and we're gonna put, this is Joe's portion. And then our Nate mixture, we're gonna take our blue cheese crumbles. And how much does Nate like? Nate, nod when you want me to stop. Good? He likes a lot of blue cheese. So we're just gonna mix this in here, put it on the other half. So here's Joe's side and here is Nate's side. So we're gonna take some of our Colby Jack and put it on top. We're gonna top Nate's half with some of the blue cheese just so we know which half is which. So now we're going to take our buffalo chicken dip and then put it in the oven. It can be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes depending on how brown you like it. So let's get ready for the Super Bowl and open some White Claws. Hi guys, so look who I have here. It's Nate. This is my fiance. And look, I got some new fancy jewelry. Where'd you get this from?
Las Vegas, I did the Super Bowl.
He came back from a work trip, so he brought back some very fancy jewelry. It rivals my ring. So let's try the buffalo chicken dip. Nate is trying the blue cheesy side, and I am trying the regular side. Cheers. What do you think?
Blue cheesy, but really good. Just how I like it. It's really, it's good. Wow.
Yay! So we're gonna have this and make some pizza. And cheers to the Super Bowl.
Cheers first, yeah.
And cheers to you guys watching. I hope that you like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoyed the game, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!
We drink?
Yeah, let's do
There we
it.
Very good.
Cheers.